So I made a post a few days ago that I realized, based on how people responded, was misunderstood. And it's a challenging idea. So if you're still mad at me afterwards, that's fine. But at least I want you to be mad at me for the idea I was trying to get across, which was that I saw this national news story about kids being shot in a school. Um, and I saw on the same day, September 10th, the story of the news described a right-wing political activist getting shot and killed while speaking at a college. And I thought both things were pretty terrible. But it wasn't until a couple hours later I jump on social media and I saw a lot of posts about the guy who was shot and people being upset about it. And I didn't really see any about the school shooting, which was whatever. I'm not trying to tell people what they should and shouldn't post. But the thing that caught my attention was how many people described it in this heart-wrenching, I feel broken, this is disgusting, these very visceral terms. And I think those things are important, and I wouldn't want anyone to not feel those things. But if you're feeling that, your body is telling you something about your internal belief system. And because we have so much gun violence, this test case had happened in the United States because we had two things happening at the same time and these stories nationally being told. And if you felt physically different about the two of them, because logically, hey, tragedy is tragedy or whatever, I don't want to argue with how you should feel about things. And I don't want to compare tragedies, but your body did. If you felt, and that's what I was trying to say, your instinct and your impulse, if you had that feeling and it pointed in one direction more than another, if it swung to one of these two stories, that's telling you something about your internal belief system, about your implicit moral values. And if it's pointing at one more than the other, I think about this a lot like Aristotle talking about practical wisdom. It's not necessarily a bad thing. These are both tragedies. You know, if you're trying to decide between mercy and justice, well, they're both virtues. How do you choose? And you're supposed to exercise, your mental capacity to do that. In this instance, we had our physical capacity telling us what we actually believed, not what we say we believe. And if that pointed in one direction, you should evaluate if that is pointing in the same direction as your moral code. It could be. That'd be fine. That'd be great. But it is worth taking a step